And today we are going to go ahead and install the LAMP stack. Now, the LAMP stack is actually an acronym it stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL or MariaDB, and PHP. So we have the LAMP right here. And what the LAMP stack is it is a stack of Linux utilities and systems that are utilized in quite a few web-based and business applications that are out there today. So basically, Linux is the operating system that everything runs on. In this case, we're going to be installing Ubuntu 18.04. Apache is an application stack. A lot of web pages and other presentation components can be provided to the end user using Apache. MySQL or MariaDB is a database. It holds all the data that we might need for an application in our environment. And then PHP is a programming layer that programmers can write that utilize, well, the database and the web server and Linux in order to do a large variety of applications, services on your system. So we're going to go ahead and install this on our virtual machine and get it going. So right now I have a virtual machine, and you can see it was right at the end of an Ubuntu installation. We're actually going to restart this and go for it from here. This is a virtual machine, so the only what's attached here is an ISO of the Ubuntu installation. Basically that's all you need in order to start an installation, either a CD/DVD with Ubuntu installed, or a USB stick that has been configured with the Ubuntu source files. There's plenty of information on the Ubuntu website on how to set that up. So I'm going to go ahead and restart this machine and tell it to boot into the CD, and we'll install going again. So here I have about 3 seconds to click escape from the boot menu. So I'll hit escape once, come on down here and select CD-ROM. Now right here with this slightly purple screen, what it's doing is it's actually waiting for me to press anything in case I need to change the language. It defaults to US English, at least this media that I downloaded defaults to US English, which is what I am speaking and typing from, so that's not a problem. Alright, and here we go. We're starting off with the booting from the CD. It gives us an option to do a try Ubuntu, which is oftentimes referred to as a live CD. You can test drive the operating system, see how it works in your environment without actually installing it. Or the other option is to install, and that's what we're going to choose right here. Asks us what kind of keyboard layout do we have. US English and English US is the type of keyboard I have, and with the placements of my keys. If I'm not entirely sure, what I can do is I can click in here and I can start pressing the keys on my keyboard. For instance, if I hit on my keyboard the backslash, I should see a backslash showing up. Or some of these other unusual characters on my system, just to make sure that they show up in the right location. If I'm still not entirely sure, I can actually click this detect keyboard layout, and it starts walking me through a wizard to see what type of keyboard I have in order to essentially kind of guess. And look at that, I have a US English keyboard. So next. What type of installation do we want? You will almost always choose a normal installation. This includes a base set of information and utilities for your environment. You may occasionally need a minimal installation unless you specifically know that you only need a minimal installation. Go with the normal. Additionally, down here under other options, normally you will want both of these checked. Download updates while installing Ubuntu. This just installs updates as you're installing the operating system. It downloads the updates off the internet, installs them for you, saves you time after the install, and makes sure that you're as secure as possible at the beginning. And then install third-party software. If I have, say, an NVIDIA video card or some other adapter, this could install non-free software on my computer, such as drivers or other formats. Probably best to keep both of them checked. Because this video is actually timed, I'm going to uncheck both of these in order to speed the installation process along. This screen may look a little different from yours if it's the first time you've installed it. Because I'm doing this over an existing install, I'm actually going to say erase disk and install Ubuntu. So it's going to erase everything off the hard drive and then reinstall it. If you absolutely know everything that you're doing here in the environment with disk partitioning, you could actually click something else and then come in here and create your own partitions. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to click back. I'm going to say erase everything and install Ubuntu fresh. Confirms to make sure this will erase everything off of my hard disk. Am I absolutely certain there's nothing on here I care about? Absolutely. Continue. It will then ask me for my time zone. So I can either click the nice little windows here in order to choose my time zone, or I can actually type in my location here, and then that automatically chooses the time zone for me. And then lastly, I give it a name. I will call myself just in case I need to remember who it is. So just in case is my username and my super secret password 01. Never use password 01 as your password. That is probably almost guaranteed to be hacked if you use password 01 on the internet. And then lastly, log in automatically or require my password to log in. Unless I'm absolutely certain that there's nothing of any importance on this system, there's no secure files, I'm not browsing the internet with it, I want to require password. Just stop people from blocking up and access my files. If I'm setting up a public kiosk or something for my child to play video games on, I may want to log in automatically, but then I also want to treat that device as 100% insecure. So require password, continue, and now it will install Ubuntu for us. Alright, and now that the install is finished, we'll go ahead and click Restart Now. If you are actually booting off of a machine, it may try to reinstall Ubuntu when it reboots if the CD or USB is still installed. So it's asking you to remove that and then click enter. Otherwise, when you hit enter, it may attempt to reboot onto the CD and start the install process again. This can be very confusing. So if you have media, go ahead and remove it and click enter. And there we go. We now have our user just in case. You can go ahead and log in, super secret password 01, and we now have our Linux portion of our lamp stack installed and running.